when a guy doesn't get a whole lot of starts and he does? Like, what does it feel like to have a game like that?
Oh, I mean, I'm just glad to be a part of a good team win right there. I think a lot of people did a lot of great stuff today, and Joe came out and threw the ball superb, and so I mean it just felt good to get back on the winning side.
Would you rather hit a home run or throw out a couple of base runners? Which one means more?
Well, I mean, just try to do what's presented to me in the moment. So I feel like the throwing out the guys is kind of my job, where homers, a little bit of a bonus. So I don't know. They both feel good.
How easy to stay prepared in the role that you are in right now with this team?
I mean, it's never easy to prepare for a major league game, but this I've become accustomed to this kind of routine. If I'm not playing for a few days and I have an opportunity to play, then I mean I know what that's like. So I know at least I have an idea how to keep my body prepared for that.
How sharp was Joe Musgrove today?
Really sharp. He looked great. It was absolute pleasure to catch him today. So I was pumped.
Doing two of those things in the same inning, throwing out base runners and getting a home run, is almost relieving in a sense that you kind of get all that stuff out of the way with this team and kind of lock in as a Padre or anything like that?
I'll say it felt good to have a pretty good game today after the first game I had as a Padre. So that wasn't one of my favorite days, but yeah.
Do you know how many Padres catchers have done that in one inning?
No.
0.
Nice.
Have you realized the uniqueness of it? You're the first catcher to do it in 45 seasons.
I mean, I guess it's cool. I just, two guys have to go in one inning, so you're never in control of that. So it just happened.
So there's been some folks come from the Yankees in the past to play here and didn't adjust well. You hear about that adjustment to go play for the Yankees. Some folks haven't made the adjustment going away. How's it been for you through spring training, getting to know your team, and then you got a homestand under your belt here?
It's been good. It's been really good. I think, from the front office all the way down to the staff and my teammates have made it pretty easy to transition to a new ball club. So I think the key is just the fact that we're a team that wants to win too. Like this is not any sort of step down or whatever. It's like we're still trying our best every single day to win. So the key is just keeping that intensity every time we go on the field, and it should never. In your head, it should never be different, no matter what team you're playing for.
How much do you appreciate what Robert Suarez can give you?
Quite a bit. I mean, that was great. Listen, we knew going in the game, we clearly can't do it every day, but we've been able to pick our spots with a couple of different guys, him included, to be able to extend them. He'd had some days off. We knew he was going to pitch going into today with the off day tomorrow, so circumstances just lined up. Not only in the rest, but also the opportunity today. What a tremendous job. He comes in and, now you're sitting there going, okay, is this guy going to be able to get 5 outs? So you're thinking about, the options behind him to maybe end the ninth. But he gets the double play ball clearly, and was so important to be able to do that, eliminate 2 outs on 1 pitch, have a low pitch count, and go out and grab the nine. He did a tremendous job. Just appreciate the heart. He covered and moved us. He covered and moved his teammates today. So it was a nice job by Suarez. It was a tale of 2 games a little bit offensively. Did a lot of really, really good things. Took a lot of good at-bats. Had some traffic. Was able to, score early, add on early. Then Higgy gets the homer. I understand it's relatively, I don't know exactly the history behind it, but there's not many guys that have thrown out 2 base runners, hit a homer in the same inning. So that's pretty cool. And then we also had some opportunities to really extend the game and open it up for us, and weren't able to capitalize in some areas. So another nice play by Jake. But let's appreciate the body of work that Jake Cronenworth's given us and not overlook it.
What do you think of Joe? Pretty dominant early, and then
I thought Joe was Joe. That was, I think pretty vintage Joe Musgrove. Very good early, very sharp, good tempo. Everything was crisp. Landing his curveball. He had the sinker going. Was able to throw to both sides of the plate and open up, the plate for him. He was opening up the plate. And he was also under the zone, and he used he pitched. That's what Joe does. He got a good idea how to pitch, and did a nice job getting through the sixth. And we got to give Tommy Cosgrove some love too. He came in with a clean seven, got in a little bit of traffic and dodged it. So we got some guys that are battling with getting in traffic, but we also have guys that are playing a little frogger getting out of it too. So but we'd rather not play in it too much. But the guys are doing a nice job and competing really well. And Joe was fantastic today. Tremendous job. Set us up for the ability to use our bullpen the way we wanted to.
A week since you guys came back and really restarted the season early on, but just kind of your first impressions of what you've seen from the club since you guys got into it every day now. Yeah,
you know what? I've been very pleased with a lot of things. We talk about, normalizing how we want to compete, being consistent. Candidly, outside of the eighth today, you've seen some really good baseball. You've seen a lot of consistent at-bats. People say, well, gosh, this game maybe not as much offense. The other side's trying too. There's some, hitting's a challenge. And I've been really pleased with our overall offensive output from the beginning of the season. I think that's been fantastic. Clearly an improvement. We got a longer lineup, getting production from the bottom. We're getting, obviously, production from the top too as well. I feel like, again, defensively overall has been very, very efficient. We've done all the little things pretty darn well, some even the nuanced things that don't show up on this box score. We're making some really good plays. We're in the right spot a lot. We're backing up, hitting our cutoff, all the good stuff, keeping runners to, the base they deserve, and not giving anything free necessarily. The running game's been good. I mentioned Higgy throwing a couple guys out today, so we're controlling the running game better. And we're starting to get into the flow with our starters now. So I've been pleased overall across the board, and but there's more room for improvement, and we'll show up and continue to be better as we go. And just one last thing, our man Fred Ullman has decided to move on with the Padres, and I didn't get the opportunity to spend as much time with Fuger nearly as well as some other people, but I would go back 100 years ago and shared some history with him when he was with the Orioles with his dad. And so just want to recognize what a tremendous career, very impressive, and also just a very impressive gentleman. Honored to have worked with him, to know him, and wish Fuger all the best. He's a really class act, and a pleasure to work with him here at the Padres. So just want to make sure that was recognized.
You like going 4 and 5 outs?
Que no son fáciles los salvamentos que has sacado, que cómo te gusta sacando 4 o 5 outs.
Sí, no es fácil, pero salir allí preparado y ajustar y con un plan de ataque a los bateadores y poder hacer el trabajo.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I have my plan of attack, and I'm just focused on executing that plan and retiring every batter.
Robert, I know you've always said you will do whatever it takes. It is a long season. Is this something you can do only when you have enough rest? How often could you do this?
Sí, obviamente tenía varios días sin lanzar. Mañana es día libre y podía entrar hoy a salir por 4 outs, salir por 5 outs, pero gracias a Dios salió todo bien y pudimos ganar el juego.
Yeah, obviously I had a couple days off, and then with the day off tomorrow, I felt good enough to go out there for 4 or 5 outs. But thanks be to God, we got the win, and that's what matters.
When did you tell the Padres? When did you know that you could be available for a 5-out save? Was this something the Padres talked about you previously, whether in spring training or just a game-by-game situation?
Desde el principio de la temporada ellos me dijeron que si podía hacerlo a veces, depende del juego y de la situación, que si podía sacar más de 3 outs y yo le dije que bueno, que está bien, que yo estaba preparado para eso.
Yeah, since the beginning of the season, they came to me and they asked me if that's something that I was willing and available to do, get more than 3 outs. And I told them from the start that, yeah, that's something that I was willing to do.